Hello, Serge here from the back porch. Today I want to talk about putters. As you can see, I have a number of them sitting to my right over here. And the reason I'm trying to address this is because when we did some videos with DJ at the Honda Classic, he was into putting changes. Actually got a new putter, new style of head, and we talked about all of that. And he mentioned that the head was face balanced. And after that video was over, it came to me that we probably should have identified or defined what face balance means and what you could be looking for in some putters. And some of these things are in our new video, the putting secret of E. Harvey Ward, that you can see, and you can see the promos on the site and purchase on the site. But I thought I'd bring this up for everybody just to at least have an idea about putters and what you can be looking for when you're going to buy a putter. And I've always said that the first and most important thing in a putter is making sure you get the right fit. And as you can see, I got all different lengths. I mean, you can see here, this is a basically long putter where you could be doing connected to the up in the chest area. This is the shorter one. This is a belly putter for me. A belly putter for me and DJ is two different things. His belly putter would probably be about this length for me. And then we have, again, you can see most of my putters are relatively short. On average, if I'm using a conventional putter, meaning conventional length, standard length for me is usually 32 to 33 inches, because I have extraordinarily long arms for my 5'9" height. DJ and I have the same arm length. So you want the right fit. You want to make sure that the putter soles properly for you on the ground, so when you get into your stance, it's soled in the middle. And in this case, you know, the middle is right, happens to be where the sweet spot is. This is my shortest one. This is like 32 inches. Most of these are 33, and maybe a couple might get 33 and a half, 34. But that's the max for me if I'm going standard length putters. And this is a real golden oldie. Now, the key to was in my bag about probably close to 20 years, and it goes back in and out. It's a Titleist bullseye putter that's a brass, which is a very heavy, dense, solid head. I like heavy and I like dense for my heads, because I think if the head is heavier, it's harder to flinch and twitch it offline, you know, when you get under pressure. And once you get it in motion, it wants to stay in motion. That law of physics, bodies in motion stay in motion. Direction they'll put in motion. If it's denser, you don't need as big a stroke to impart a hit necessary for a putter, as compared to if you were using a lighter putter, you'd need more stroke and more hit to hit it the same distance that this one could have less stroke. Less stroke is less margin of error. And so I'm big on heavy putters. So you want to find a grip that you like. And as you can see, I have one of these new fatter ones. They call it Super Strokes, and this is the newer model. But originally they came out that it was the same thickness all the way down, but now this one is a newer version where it's thinner or less fat underneath the top hand, which for me would be my left hand, and it's a little bit fatter in the right hand, so you could just have a more laid in your hand type of feeling when you're stroking it. And so I try all these different grips, but for the most part, you know, I'm more of a conventional gripper, but I putted well. I've won tournaments with this putter and this grip. Right, basically, these three putters, I have won probably at least over a dozen tournaments with them collectively, and so they go all the way back to about early 1970 models bullseye to a Scotty Cameron, much more modern bullseye of about 5 years ago, which is still a very, very heavy putter. And then this is also a Scotty Cameron. I think it's called a 1.5 model head with just the slightest little bit of offset. I putt best with putters that have almost no offset, which are straight in line to the shaft. And this one here is actually set a little bit farther behind. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about all of these. But let's go back to my first opening statement: face balance. Face balance putter means if you take the putter and you hold it like on your finger like this and find the fulcrum where it'll balance. The head stays basically straight parallel up there. That's face balance. Now here is you know, a belly putter, which is exactly really been using now for the last 3 or 4 months. I've gone to the belly, and I guess I'll announce to the world DJ's experimenting with a belly right now, and you might see it in play the next time he tees it up in a PGA Tour event. I think bellies are great because you hear it definitely gives you a beautiful arc, because I believe in the arcing stroke. And the purpose of a face balance putter is that you can still arc it whether you're attached it to your body or not. And the reason why it really has to arch is because the arms are connected to the shoulder and the ball and socket joint, and it rotates in the ball and socket. So the whole arm rotates in the socket, and even when you have your shoulders moving and you're keeping the triangle of your shoulders, hands, and arms to your together, and you stroke, there will be a little opening of the putter going back, getting it back to square, and going through with a little bit of rotation. And that rotation is much more controlled and consistent when a putter is face balanced as compared to if it is heel balanced. Now this is what we call a heel putter, a blade putter. The shaft and all the weight of the hosel comes in directly at the end of the heel. This putter will do what? Go straight down. So this one stays perpendicular, almost dead toe to the ground. Okay? This is the pure heel putter. So conversely, with a heel putter, there's a lot more tendency for that putter, for the toe to pass the heel and to really turn over, which could cause some severe pulls. And if you tend to let that happen a little too often, and it pulls, then the tendency is to hold on and end up holding it too long, and you open it, and the putter stays open, and you hit pushes or blocks. Now, these are not totally heel putters, but they are not face balanced. You see, they're down. Not dead perpendicular to the ground, but quite a bit. These two bullseye type putters, okay? And so these will have the tendency to rotate more through impact. And so your stroke, you have to work a lot more at making sure your stroke is consistent and that you're keeping your wrists and hands firm. Control that you don't let that weight of the putter, especially of the toe of the putter, overcome and toe over the heel, because the heel's slowing down. That's the key. If the putter goes this way, that means there's more weight in the heel than the toe. All right, and that's why the toe will tend to tumble over. Now let's look at another putter. This is basically center shafted, and it's called the heavy putter. It's heavy because the face is heavy. They have tremendous amount of weight counterbalanced under the grip, and it has two weights on here. And when you get these putters, you get a number of different weights from aluminum to a little bit some type of metal that's heavier, all the way to some lead weights. And you can make this sucker really heavy. But look what we got here. This model is face balanced. Okay, so as heavy as this putter can go, it'll stay face balanced all the time if I keep the weights on each end the same. Now I could make it just like that heel and toe weighted putter and put a light weight on the toe and a heavy one here, or vice versa, and change the way it rotates through the ball just on these weights. So you can do that and build it to whatever you want. But the one thing I found with these heavy putters, I think they're pretty good, especially on short putts, because again, as I said earlier, heavy putts, once in motion, they stay in motion, and it's pretty hard to just have a little twitch to snap it left or hold on too long and push it or block it to the right, because they're so heavy. But the point is that I think that's great on the short putts. But I came to realize that when I really practice a lot with this putter, to try to think about if I can put it in my bag, and I've used it now. I've used it, off and on, especially if I'm losing my touch or whatever. Sometimes you just got to take one of your old faithfuls out, put it in a closet or in a trunk, and let it get scared that it might not get back in play, and so that when you finally take it out, it's going to really start treating you good again. I've actually heard a golfer once say that just before a big tournament, no matter how good he's putting, he takes his number one putter and puts it in the trunk for a while or in the closet until like the day before the tournament or the day of the tournament, and he pulls it back out. And so now that putter really wants to play because it doesn't like being stashed away. But the key with these putters is that I think heavy might feel really great on short putts, but at some point you get back to 30, 40, 50 footers. If the putter gets too heavy, when you swing it back with a longer stroke, the weight wants it to keep going, and now you got to actually grip it firmer and force it to change direction. And I don't believe that's good, because I want my stroke to stay smooth. I want it to come back, and then when it goes forward, I want it to be able to accelerate without me having to add a lot of muscle to accelerate it. So you always want that accelerating hit, especially in putting, just like every shot in golf. So I found that when you get your putters too heavy, though, they don't want to transition very smoothly the other way, where you can accelerate it smoothly and to the speed you need. So again, the key here is you got an idea about what face balance is, what it does versus non-face balance putters, and things about different lengths. And so you can get face balance in any length, any shape, any form if it's equally balanced on the toe and the heel, so that putter just stays straight up. Okay? Well, that's it for the search today. Hopefully giving you a little bit more information about what to look for in putters and what to try in putters to see if they certain type of shape of the head, as well as whether face balance or heel balance or anything in between works better for you, so that you can make more putts, which will shoot lower scores. All right, well, that's it for the search for today, and I'll be talking to you all again soon.